Why doesn't Rogue just wear one of those mutant power inhibiting collars whenever she wants to touch someone? So guys, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I'm the Monio, the interdimensional demon who talks the most about X-Men on YouTube, and you're on my channel. With the new animation of X-Men in Evidence, with some episodes giving a lot of prominence to Rogue, and she is simply incredible in the series, but I would like to reflect on what many people started to wonder, why Rogue doesn't use power inhibitors to be able to touch the people during her laser moments, and then simply take it off when she wants to use her powers. And when I researched this, I saw that there were even some posts with memes on the subject, saying that the solution is very obvious and that it doesn't make sense she doesn't use inhibitors. And talking to some people, I came to the conclusion that the discussion is a little more complex than that. And just to be clear, I'm not talking about Rogue from the Fox films, which in my opinion didn't adapt the character well. Well, first let's remember something very important in the fictional world of X-Men. The mutation itself is not a physical disability, something that needs treatment for the person to have a healthy life. On the contrary, the mutation is seen as something that mutants need to be proud of. So within this ideology, there is no possibility of you nullifying your powers, because you would be nullifying your identity. You are nullifying who you are, and this is shown very well in X-Men 97, in the arc in which the Storm loses its powers and has an identity crisis, because the powers are part of them. And taking away those powers is as if you were part of a minority, and used some trick to change your condition of a minority. And if you think about the idea of the collective, that this is not a personal and individual issue, we can realize that this is an ideological issue that is much bigger than the individual itself. And I know that many people cannot understand this issue of collectivity. They think that what matters is the individual, and that collectivity is nonsense. And when you have all the privileges in the world, it is very easy to be individualistic, but it is very important to note that for mutants and for minorities in general, the collective is very important, that it is the collective that gives strength to minorities and not the individual. This notion that taking care of the people who are by your side is essential. So to nullify the characteristics that make you part of this mutant race is an insult, even more so that necklace, which is a tool of oppression for mutants, is practically a shackle, a tool of torture. If you think that many mutants were arrested and killed using those necklaces, it would be the same thing as asking someone who was once enslaved to wear a chain or some accessory related to slavery to have some benefit. That possibility simply does not exist. But the Monio, Cyclops uses glasses that nullify his powers. Nightcrawler for a long time used equipment that changes his appearance visually. Isn't that the same thing? And I tell you no, since for the same reason Rogue wears gloves, and she has no problem wearing gloves because it is a way for her to control her powers, and not nullify them. Cyclops does not nullify his powers, he uses the glasses to control them. He doesn't turn into a human when he wears the glasses. And understand the word human as the way humans call themselves to differentiate themselves from mutants. In a broader sense, everyone is obviously human. In Nightcrawler's case, it's just a disguise, a camouflage, a way for him to blend in with humans without attracting attention and this being negative for him.
I don't believe it! I'm normal.
Of course you're normal, Kurt. But not because of that machine.
Storm is right, Kurt. Normal is what you truly are. Never think otherwise.
But the Monio, I understand this issue of them not wanting to use the necklace, because of what the necklace represents for them. But the Beast could build a device that simulates Magneto's power, generating a bioelectric field so that Rogue can touch people and maintain powers. And I'll answer you that yes, Beast could probably create something like that. But it's not done because it would simply ruin the characters. Let's remember that X-Men is a metaphor for minorities. And for these characters to have conflict within this theme, they need to have personal dilemmas related to their powers and the fact that they are mutants. And if these disadvantages didn't exist, the story wouldn't work in the same way, as it wouldn't have the same dramatic weight. For example, imagine that you are going to make a film that addresses the topic of racism. If there is no racism in the world where your film is set, you will basically have no content for your film. So we can say that the world of the X-Men does offer the possibility of solving the characters' problems. And the screenwriters are fully aware of this. They just don't do it because the characters wouldn't be interesting that way. But what about you? Do you agree with me? Leave your opinion in the comments, and if you liked the video, subscribe to follow the next content. Until next time my people, demonic hugs.